We'll start with Dan Rayleigh. He'll be followed by Lauren Kirschman. Dan, go ahead.
Why can't I see myself and I can't see them? I haven't seen you guys in a while. I mean, at least I could do it.
We're not very pretty. That's the problem.
Come on now.
So Coach, with the new offense that you've put in place, are you guys more wide open, more of a 3 wide receiver group, or are you still more conventional when you line up on the field?
I look at this offense as being multiple. You know what I mean? I think when you look at good offenses, you look at a multiple personnel offense, changing in and out of personnel groupings. It starts up front as far as being physical in the run game or just being physical all the way around and being a downhill run game and being physical on the perimeter. But we're going to play our best 11 guys. And, John Donovan is doing a good job of, applying his system, implementing his system. And we like it. I mean, it's fun. The guys are having fun with it. JD is doing a good job of teaching it and installing it. And there's a good sense of energy going around it offensively right now.
All right, we'll go to Lauren Kirschman. She'll be followed by Ruth Robbins. Go ahead, Lauren.
Hey, Junior. We've heard a lot of praise from other coaches and players for the freshman wide receivers. What has your impression been of those guys?
They've been good. They work hard every day. The cool thing about, all 3 of those guys, Rome, Jalen, and Sawyer, when they got here, they got right to the playbook. The cool thing about them is that they're really good dudes. They connected with the group. The group connected with them. And, they go out and they practice hard. I mean, just like any freshman, you're going to have your ups and your downs and all that, but they keep battling. And I'm really pleased, with how they're picking up the playbook, as a freshman and as freshmen. So, no, they're doing good. They're making plays. It's built some really good competition in that room.
All right, we'll go to Ruth Robbins. She'll be followed by Chris Fetters. Go ahead, Ruth.
Hey, Junior.
Hey, Ruth. How you doing?
I'm good. Hey, when you first got to Washington, I remember there was some discussion about really trying to make improvements in the downhill blocking.
I barely can hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you very well, Ruth. You sound like you're really far away from the microphone.
Oh, let me get in here a little closer. Can you hear me better?
Yeah, I feel like you kept creeping further back, but I think I hear you a little bit better now.
Okay. So when you first got to Washington, one of the criticisms with the receivers at that time was the downhill blocking, and I remember we talked about this and that was something that you were going to work on. I just wondered after year 1 with these guys, have you seen some progression with that? Are they doing better in that regard? And are you continuing to focus on that kind of thing?
Yes. I think it's Ruth, I think it's a daily mindset. That makes sense. We're always trying to focus on that. Like today, for example, the first thing we did was hit the 2-man sled, just to kind of get that mindset going. But no, like Coach Lake says, first thing we want to be physical, and that's not just talking about up front. That's talking about on the perimeter. The physical guys are going to play, and it's a mindset, and it's a daily mindset. It's when your feet hit the ground. But it's on me as a coach to, spark that fire every day, to put an emphasis on that, and when you're blocking and you're physical in the run game, big runs come from wide receivers blocking downfield. Those are just as rewarding as catching touchdowns on the perimeter. So, just getting those guys, they bought into it. I think, you look at a guy like Terrell Bynum or Puka Nacua, and those guys bought into the run game last year, and it helped their game, and they became really good pass catchers for us, when we needed them.
All right, we'll go to Chris Fetters. He'll be followed by Nick Mendro. Go ahead, Chris.
Junior, was asking Coach Lake the other day about the running backs room and how guys have gotten bigger, and he made a comment about how there's a reason heavyweights don't fight lightweights. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering how much that might apply to the receivers room as well, because I also took a look at the receivers and the average size from last year's group to this year's, and it looks like on average you guys are a little bit bigger as well. Do you think there's some logic to that as well when you look at the receivers?
Yeah, I mean, there is some logic to that. You know, size, speed, and athleticism. But to me, it really comes down to the mindset. You know, coming out to work every day, I've seen one of the best receivers to play the game is Steve Smith. He's not very tall, but he played like he was 6'4", you know. So it's all about, you know, the mindset for us on the perimeter and making the difficult plays. You know, you always say, make the highly difficult plays look easy. You know, going up and snatching the football. You know, going and throwing your face in there in the run game and blocking safeties. That's what we want to do, regardless of your size. But yes, I do feel like we have gotten, you know, our size has gotten bigger. So hopefully that answers your question.
All right, we'll go to Nick from the Daily, followed by Mike Varell. Go ahead, Nick.
Ty Jones had a big impact his first 2 years, and then he kind of missed some time last year, but came on strong again at the end. How has he looked after missing some time last year, and then what does he mean to this group heading into the season?
I mean, when you look at this group, Ty is one of the leaders in that room. Ty has made a lot of plays. I do think, you know, him being out of lineup most of the year last year has helped him. Sometimes when you you know, when you're able to step back and see it through another lens, it helps you get better. He took a lot of mental reps. He had a good off season, and honestly, Ty right now, he's playing good football for us. You know, and I'm just harping on him to be consistent every day. So.
All right, we'll go to Mike Varell, followed by Masvita. Go ahead, Mike.
I think he's muted. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Hey, Junior.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
You mentioned Terrell Bynum, but you know, that dude made a lot of those difficult plays last year in terms of the tight space catches, and you talked about blocking ability. He might kind of fly under the radar publicly a little bit, but what made him effective, and what are the strides that you've seen for him the last year or so?
I think what made him effective last year was he stayed the course. He was process driven. One thing about TB is he's very smart. He knows the system inside and out. And, you know, last year for us, you know, going all the way back, I mean, if you really look at the plays he had for us early on in the season, I mean, he was just really getting his hands dirty, throwing his face in there. And as time progressed, he got his opportunity, I want to say, against, you know, Oregon and he made a lot of big third down plays for us. And, you know, and he's displayed that throughout the course of camp, you know, when we get into those, you know, finishing game situations, as, you know, Coach Lake calls Kobe situations, being finishers, TB, you know, he has showed up for us in those situations. And it's good because you know, he kind of, you know, him and Ty and Jordan Chin, they kind of set the bar in that room. And, you know, it's good for those young guys to be able to see the standard.
All right, we'll go to Masvita, followed by Anthony. Go ahead, Maz.
Yep. Hey, Coach. Just going back on the physicality of a receiver. I know we think of physicality in terms of blocking, like you talked about, but how important is it to have a receiver who makes those catches, and then also once the catch is made, to get that yak yards afterwards?
Well, I think, like I always say, I can get my daughter to catch a 5-yard hitch and fall on the ground, right? It's the one that, you know, who's going to make the contested plays? You know what I mean? Who's going to go over the middle when it's third down and it's money down for us, or it's in the red zone and money down situation? Who's going to go make those plays? Who's going to go snatch the football? And then, you know, again, like I said, I want to see guys that are going to catch the football and get me some run after the catch, you know, and that's what, you know, that's an emphasis this week for us. It's just catch and finish. It's just catch and finish. And so, you know, it's something we're emphasizing here this week. Most importantly, I feel like we probably took a step back in that department, but you know, we're making strides.
All right, we'll go to Anthony from the Daily, followed by Christian Capel. Go ahead, Anthony.
How are the guys getting comfortable with their connection with the quarterbacks? Is it hard to really adjust to a new guy, or is it just another person throwing the ball?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think we're adjusting fine. I mean, I think it's honestly, I tell the wide receivers we play great for our quarterback. Again, we want to make the highly difficult plays look easy on a consistent basis. And whoever's back there throwing the ball, if it's coming out spiral or it's coming out wobbling, it's coming to us. We got to go make the play. And that's our job. And that's all that matters.
All right, we'll go to Christian, who'll be followed by Chris Fetters and then Kim Grinolds. Go ahead, Christian.
Hey, Junior. I'm just curious, when you first scouted Rome Odunze and saw his tape and got to know him and stuff, what stood out about him? What separated him as a prospect?
Rome, size, speed, and athleticism. And then when he did get the ball in his hands, he always made the first person miss. And then when you get to know him, he's a really good dude. He's got a big heart. He comes from a good family, a wonderful mom, and he's got a really good work ethic.
All right, we'll go to Chris Fetters, and we'll wrap things up with Kim Grinolds. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Junior, also asking about Sawyer. I know that he was probably the one guy that people haven't talked about all that much. I think probably mostly because of his injury and the thought that maybe he wouldn't play all that much this year. But when you saw him and knowing how good he was on both sides of the ball his junior season, what really stood out to you then that made you believe that offense was really going to be the side of the ball in college that was going to be the thing that made it for him, especially for you guys?
Well, I think when you get to know Sawyer, you know that he's an offensive guy just from just talking to him. But, what stood out to me is that he's a good football player, and he's a proven winner. He makes tough catches. He's very smart. He's probably one of the funniest guys in that room. He's an awesome dude. I like being around Sawyer, but he was a winner in high school. You know what I mean? And he's a really good football player. And he's tough, real tough.
All right, last question for Coach Adams will come from Kim Grinolds. Go ahead, Kim.
Hey, Coach, how frustrating is it on a Saturday afternoon to see TVs on with college football going on, seeing the scores, and knowing you've still got a couple more weeks to go?
I wouldn't say it's frustrating. I like watching football, so it's fine. Well, the situation is the situation, and when it's our time, it's our time. I don't really get too caught up in being frustrated watching somebody else. If anything, I can get better watching them. So, no, I enjoy watching the games. I mean, we've been practicing on Saturday, so I haven't been able to watch too many of the games. But, before we started camp, I did enjoy watching a lot of NFL games on Sunday. I never got a chance to do that, so that was pretty good for me. And it's cool because you get to see things that you never saw, and you can learn from just watching a lot of the games. And, I don't really try to let frustration creep in my mind. I use it as a way to just get better and see what I can learn from watching other guys play.
All right, that'll wrap us up with Coach Adams. Peyton Henry will be along shortly. Thank you.